Hi, it's Kazim here. Welcome to my rant. So, today's topic is quite, should I say, interesting because it's packed from me listening to another podcast. So, I'll link the podcast in the description. It's from a friend of mine, Bukola Aladi Sulu. So, the question was simply, it wasn't really a question. She just made a statement that motivation is overrated, right? So, and I was like, okay. So I listened to the podcast, and I really understood where she was coming from. And okay, so before the podcast, we both had a conversation, and she was trying to explain to me that she had this creative block whereby she couldn't create something new at the moment. So it happened. I think it happens to mostly everyone. So I think it's just a phase in everyone's creative process or life generally. So, and she explained this to me, and later I think from that ginger of the conversation and how she saw the whole thing, it sparked the podcast. So I would really love for you to listen to that, and also this. And I'm trying to convince her. Hopefully she comes in the next episode, so we're able to just discuss this together. So back to the matter, is motivation overrated? So please, this is not to any motivational speaker, because I still have, I don't think what motivational speakers set out to at the beginning was to motivate people. Maybe because sometimes when I talk, some people think I'm motivating people. No, I'm just trying to make you see from my own lens of life. So what I've learned so far, experiences I've had, so you probably won't make those same mistakes, or if you're already making those same mistakes, how you get out of them, like how I got out of them. So it's simply what I just share with people. So how people consume it determines how it forms into motivation to them. That's it. So some of the things I'm going to say here, I already sent it to her as a voice note. I think the voice note was over 10 minutes, me explaining my own point. So first of all, I personally think motivation is divided into 2 or 3-ish. So I'll explain that. So first we have the outward motivation. So motivation that comes from outside of you. So we have the inward motivation. So something that gingers from inside of you, and we have a mix of both. So my analogy, I'll use a car for my analogy. So for a car to start, you need a charged battery. Just get that, or a battery that is working, a functioning battery, because I really don't have much knowledge on cars, but I understand the fact that if your battery is low, your car won't start, basic. And if you want to start a car, or you want to start any major machine, you have to have a working plug and to ignite it in the first place. So the battery here, technically, not really, is the outward motivation. Shall I explain what that means? The plug and ignition, or should I say key, is the inward part to move the car. So that's the engine. So, and technically not even the plug, the engine itself. I would explain what I mean. And the mix of both is what makes the car move. So first of all, the outward part. So if you have seen a situation where, let's imagine when they're building a car, and the car was built, and let's assume the last thing that was put in the car was the battery. Assuming there's fuel in the car, please. I'm not going to be touching anything about fuel, because fuel is a bit more sensitive, let me say. So let's we got a battery, added a battery in the car. So just imagine a car without battery in the first place, the car won't start. That's where the outward motivation comes in. So I feel motivation itself is not overrated. It's a form of motivation that's overrated. So you need battery to start the car, but you don't need 2 batteries to start one car. You just need 1 battery to start the car. So not like no, I'm not talking in cases of electric cars that where you need stacks of batteries. Well, I'm just trying to talk about like the standard size of a battery. You just need one battery, to one good battery, not just one battery, sorry, one good battery to start a car. So if you need one battery to start the car, you don't need much more than one. So adding more than one might even spoil the car, I feel, to start that car. So that's one. Now that's explaining the outward motivation. So you don't need too many people to motivate you to do something. You just need a certain amount of motivation to be able to perform from outside, which is not even essential in most situations. So back to the inward motivation. So just assume your car is moving, and you are moving on the road, and your battery is low, and your car is not, because every car that moves, there's one interesting thing the way cars work is like the car needs the battery to start the car, and the battery needs the car to charge the battery. So the battery itself, the auto motivation, needs you from inside to motivate it outside. So it's just like if people are motivating you to do something good, so when you help people, they tell you thank you or whatever motivates you to do better, you need a certain amount, or when you get that amount of motivation, you still need a certain amount of motivation in you to motivate something outside of you to continue motivating you. So I if you let me break that down, it's like whenever we start something or we do something based on motivation, something outside actually motivated you. So that's why I have a third part. So something outside sparked the motivation from inside. Most of the time it's not from inside, most of the time. And if it's from inside, something inside sparks something from outside. So it's like I was already feeling tired and was worrying about what is happening around me. That is already a motivation, interestingly. But what happens next or happens around me can make it a full motivation. So can that make both of them spark together to move in the first place? So before anything starts, you need both of them at the same time. That's cleared. And after that, you now need, so it's just like when I was explaining, you need a battery to start a car. But if the plug of the car is bad and there's no fuel in the car might start, but to turn off. In fact, if the plug is bad, the car might not start. But if the plug is good and there's no fuel in the car will start smooth for a while and it will empty there. Because the fuel in this scenario, is the inward motivation, you understand? So the fuel is the sustainable part. So that's where an issue comes in. So there's always motivation, sure, but how do you sustain the motivation? That's where it gets tricky, because it's just like you telling someone, I think, I don't know, maybe it's a saying, it's a scripture in the Bible, or it's just a saying that don't teach me how to don't feed me fish, teach me how to fish, or something like that. So you don't just need someone to just ginger you for once, you need something to sustain that ginger. So that is like when she gave an analogy in our podcast, that's my friend, that in the beginning of the year we are all ginger, we are setting New Year resolutions, and halfway through it we just go blah. You understand? So this happens because there's less or no sustainable way of continuing that motivation. So it's not an issue of it being overrated, it's an issue of sustainability. So if the motivation in the first place is not sustainable, then how do you continue with it? Your car just ends up on the road. At some point, that's another interesting thing is, at some point your car can actually be moving when the battery is low and there's little or no fuel. At some point, until you have seen those situations where the car goes off but the car is still moving, and let's say the fuel station, the filling station, is just a block away, and your car can just glide a bit till you get close to the filling station for you to buy fuel and kickstart the car to move on. I think that explains it better, because there are some scenarios where you are not actually even motivated anymore, but you are just able to sustain yourself to get another dose of motivation to continue your day. You understand? So I don't think it's overrated. What I just think is there's an issue of sustainability whenever motivation is involved. That's just my take, and I would really love to hear your own part. And please, if you're listening to this on Anchor, drop a clap. I really love to. Yeah, you can add it to your favorites. Please subscribe, and also don't forget, drop your comments. Just drop your message on Anchor, and on social media you can always get through to me at Kazim Kodri01, every major social media platform. You can send me a message there. I would definitely love to get your response and probably add it to the next episode. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.